Hi guys. Hi everyone. Thanks for beginning to log in. I am chatting today with Avinash Mansukhani, who is the founder of Fight the Sunrise, a very close friend of mine. So this will be a fun chat. I hope that you all will tune in. He knows everything about engineering and fitness and web and tech and I think everything. But today is going to be more about his career journey. Let me get. Hi, Pankti. Just waiting for him to join. Hi, Jai Krishna. Okay, resending you a request. I did. I sent you a request. Okay, so just as we log in, let me tell you that Avinash and I are very good friends, so this is going to be fun. And I am getting on the FTS program as of next week, so I'm really excited about that too. And I hope that you all benefit from this chat and know what a genius he has been in terms of everything that he's done. Hi to everyone joining in. Hi, Radhika. Hi, Urmi. We're just waiting for my speaker, who I'm interviewing today, to join in. That's Avinash from Fight the Sunrise. I don't know what's happening. It just says connecting. Instagram, help us today. Hi, Dylan. Hi, Tushar, Chandni. Everyone's here. Okay, I need to. Hi, Urvi. So we're talking about. Okay. Patti. Okay, so today the person we're talking to, Avinash, has gotten fitter over time. He's somebody who kind of learned, the fitness ropes all on his own, the nutrition, changing his whole body, sculpting himself. And I want to hear more from him. He's also someone who's into events, plus was in engineering college and was in the web and tech world. So we're talking to this multi-talented person who's also a close friend, like I mentioned earlier. And we're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to talk about how his program works because it's all online. And you really don't have to go to any class. You can do it from the confines of your home, which is perfect for us right now during quarantine. And yeah, so I'm really excited to bring him on. Oh, Avinash, it says you're declining it. Why is that happening? Is everything moving to Geo? Are we becoming Instagram Geo? Okay.
Hello.
Hi!
My
Finally!
God, dude, that took like forever.
Yeah, because it's Fight the Sunrise and networking now. It has to take time to come.
Yeah, so
It's
the
worth the wait.
network's gonna crash, huh?
It's worth the wait. Hi, how are you?
How's it going? Sorry
I'm so
to everyone who
excited.
was waiting.
Huh?
I was just saying sorry to everyone who was waiting. It just kept crashing, man.
Yeah, sorry, but it's great to have you here finally. And of course, I was telling everyone all that you do and that we are friends from before, but you have really been in every field and I think you've aced it in whatever you've done. So that's great. And I
Yeah.
want to also, I want you to tell us first about Fight the Sunrise and where you are at currently before we begin.
So, with Fight the Sunrise, basically, I got really passionate about it and ended up studying the whole kind of. I was working working for a fitness tech company and voids in the area and saw the intent in India for people to get fit, but we were lacking in the education. So I kind of wanted to bring that about because I myself had gone through a lot of miscommunication and wrong information when I was doing my transformation myself. So that's where the thought process came from. I was passionate. I've seen how transforming me in different aspects of my life, whether it's confidence, whether it's just being disciplined or hardworking. And I started doing that with two, three of my friends and saw their lives change as well. And that's where the thought process came from. I was like, wow, if I can help others maybe live a healthier, more fulfilling life, then why the hell not?
Yeah, absolutely. And you've done it. You've done a great job at that. We have Scuba Chinu here. Hi. And he says, just show one ab. I have to say, guys, when I announced my party with Avinash today, fondly known as Patti, there's so many people who message me saying, let's take a bet, will he wear a t-shirt? Because Avinash's Instagram is full of his workout videos, so I don't blame him when he's always in workout mode. But yeah, maybe at the end of if you stay till the end of the session, I'll convince him, Scuba.
So I was going to wear a whole like 4 or 5 layers of clothing, and I thought that each question will take off 1 layer.
This is the first live that I've done, which is going to be different because they've all been about. Are my voice and video cracking? Can you see me?
I can see you.
Okay, cool. Okay, so now let's just get to the serious bit before we get back to all the fun. I want to start by asking you a little bit about your career journey. You've switched a lot, but you always excelled in whatever you did. But now I think you finally found what you've always loved doing. So tell us where you started and a little bit about the journey.
Yeah, so there's a big difference between being good at what you're doing and being happy with what you're doing, which is kind of what my journey took me through. So I will start from the beginning. So I was super studious in school, right? Topped my class and all that bullshit, right? Then had the marks. So parents were like, engineering, got to do engineering, right? So when did engineering, went through that whole scene, didn't really enjoy it, as you can imagine what the engineering scene in Bombay is like. But did pretty well over there to pass with distinction and got placed into Accenture, which was, I was a coder at that point. I'd done my engineering in IT. So I spent about 2 years in Accenture just as a backend coder. I used to travel from Cuff to the end of Malad, which was about 2 hours, 2 hours, 15 minutes. Not in monsoons, in monsoons, 2.5 hours to 2 hours, 45 minutes each way. So did that whole scene, but it was important to have it as a thappa on your resume, as people say.
Yeah.
Did my coding there. And what was funny is at that point, while I was doing my engineering and while I was doing this, most of my friends who had done BMM, and you know most of them, right, used to keep coming to me for ideas, for your projects in school and in college and just stuff when they were going to work because I had a little bit of creativity. So finally, when I got totally like fed up of doing this whole Accenture work and traveling everywhere, I thought, let me mix that tech background I have with creativity, and I started my own digital firm, right? So this was, I started off with websites, and we were doing very quirky websites. We did Veedas's website, we'd done Mehbhat's website. Those were my like first 2 clients. A lot of quirky shit. So we brought that kind of balance in creativity and technology. And at that time, basically, digital marketing started to boom, right? Facebook pages just launched. There was nothing else at that time. There was only Facebook pages. And the engagement on Facebook pages were amazing at that time, not like the shit is now, right?
Not like right now, yeah.
Exactly. So first things first, boom, started a social media vertical. So took on clients at that time, a lot of SMEs, small, medium enterprises, right? Did their digital marketing. They were experimenting, helping them get awareness, stuff like that. Grew to quite a big number, good team. Of course, super struggles, didn't take salary for 2 years and all, put everything back in. usual startup scene. I remember I was living myself on a salary of like 3,000, 4,000 bucks, right? Like one night
Oh
out drinking,
God.
I would be done
Yeah.
today. So I could like drink all my dad's booze, thank God for that, and
Yeah.
go out partying, right?
We still do
Because
that.
obviously, yeah, because obviously didn't want to take anything from them and stuff like that, you know, even though roof was over my head from them, didn't want to like pressure them into anything else.
Yeah.
So did that, stuff was going well. We got an offer from a digital agency, a very well-known digital agency who was outsourcing most of their work to us. They saw the benefit in starting a digital arm themselves because
Yeah.
at that time there was nothing of that sort, right? There was only offline and print and TV. So they made us an offer to acquihire our team. So we got acquihired. So I started then. I became the head of their digital team then, right? So I was handling campaigns now pan India for much larger clients. Like from only doing startups, now I was doing campaigns for Nestle, or Britannia, and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, so that was a great change. Just catapulted me into a totally different field and understanding what a different kind of target audience is, right? Because suddenly you're dealing with your target audience being the mass of India and not just sober people, for the
Yeah.
lack of a better word.
Yeah.
So it taught me a lot about demographics, target marketing, stuff like that. Worked with that agency for about a year and a half, then got poached by another agency where I took on a role of something called creative technologist, right? Here it was doing digital tech projects from start to finish, and as well as doing the digital campaign as well, pan India. Super interesting, learned a lot, won a couple of Effie's and Clio's, which is like massive shit, but just really truthfully didn't enjoy the work, right?
Yeah.
I was good at it, but that passion wasn't there. Like I would go to work, do my work, get out of there. Didn't want to spend any extra time in office and all. I hope none of my ex-bosses are hearing this, but yeah. So basically, that was the scene over there. While this was happening, obviously, this agency life takes a massive toll on your health, right? You're doing 10, 15-hour days, no sleep, pulling all-nighters, doing all that shit, right? So obviously, health went for a toss. I had in between after school, before college, I had lost 20 kilos very unhealthily. I put this all back on, right? So now I was 28, sitting on a nice, cushy job, but um, health was gone for toss. So I gave myself a challenge. I was like, dude, by the time you're 30, you need to get ripped. Okay. So I was like, I'm going to do this. This time I'm going to do it properly. So I went and I did all studying, did research, tried out a lot of genres of fitness. I tried CrossFit. I tried, went to Key, worked out there, right? Did all the different kind of genres of fitness, did functional work, did this, see what worked for me, dabbled in different types of nutrition, experimented with all the stuff that's out there, and
I'm sure.
gradually
Yeah.
lost my weight in about maybe it took me about 3.5, 4 months, and I got to where I was, right? Where I wanted to. Through this, obviously, I gathered this big passion for fitness. It became more of an addiction. And then this is where networking now actually plays a big role, right? So I started blogging about fitness while this was happening, while I was working at this agency. And there was a message on Networking Now that said we're looking for someone to come for a shoot, for a fitness shoot. So I think you had tagged me or something like that. And I got in touch with this person who was launching a fitness tech app in India, which was a Singapore-based fitness tech
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
So I went for the shoot. The launch manager had come in, the VP from Singapore had come in, and we were just talking while somebody else was shooting and I was hanging on the side. We were talking about, I was just telling them the fitness scene in India, what studios to target, how they should plan their media spends, what they
Yeah.
should spend
Yeah.
offline, what they should spend online, what their targeted CPC should be, etc., etc. Just taking them through all that just casual conversation. This went on through the shoot, then we went for after shoot party where we went for drinks, and this conversation continued. And that was that. 1 month later, I get a call from them saying, "Listen, you seem to know the scene. You're passionate about fitness. Do you want to be general manager for India?" At that time, I was like, "Bro, doing the same kind of work in terms of creativity, marketing, and tech, and doing it in a field that I love, it
Love.
was a
Yeah.
complete no-brainer for me." So
Yeah.
took the jump, did what I was doing anyways, which was still tech and media, but now I was doing it in the fitness field. So I was growing this company within India, and on the side also experimenting with my fitness and started experimenting with friends as well. So I basically took on the side while experimenting, I basically took each friend of a different body type, right? One guy who was skinny, one guy who was in between, and one girl who was overweight, right? And I got them to get each of them to their goals. So I made the skinny guy bulk up a little, get abs, made the intermediate guy get totally ripped, and made the overweight person completely lose weight. So I wanted to play with these body types through different lifestyle goals. While I was working at this at the as a country manager at the place that I had joined. That company then got acquired by an even bigger company, right? So which turned out to be this year's first unicorn. So I was then heading there, the country for them, setting them up, and all this while just deeply digging myself into different genres of fitness, started exploring about it, started giving talks about it, stuff like that. Finally, it came to a point where I'm like, bro, fitness is on the uptick in India right now. It is super nascent. If I need to capitalize and jump into this market, I need to do it now, right? So it was October. Went to my parents, said, bro, I'm quitting my job again and starting from scratch again. And I was like, listen, I'm giving myself a kind of target. If in 1 year I can hit 80% of the salary, because at the end of the day, also job security, everything is important, right? I do not have family business. I have to run the house myself. So I was like, if I can hit 80% of the salary by 1 year, I'm going to stick to it, because then stuff is only going to grow exponentially, as opposed to staying in a company and getting us 0.10 or 10% increase year by year, right?
And so somewhere you're not happy. I mean,
exactly.
Not that you're not happy, but you're not following your passion.
No, but that's true. Even while I was working in the fitness field, I was still at the end of the day handling a tech company, right? I wasn't, even though fitness was the industry, my targets were numbers. My targets were subscribers. My targets were not getting people healthier, right?
Yeah.
And some aspects of what I was doing, like I don't believe in group fitness classes and stuff like that. I think everything needs to be a little more personalized. So that was kind of like mismatch in the kind of objective.
Yeah.
So took the leap, and man, like I've actually never been happier, right? Like it's just like things just fall into place. So what advice I would give people is, dude, if there's something you're passionate about, make the leap. It will pay off if you're passionate enough. But obviously, please don't just jump blindly. Do your market research, take calculated jumps, take calculated risks, understand your market. Don't just have an idea and be like, oh, I'm going to leave everything behind and it will work out. Be a little smart about it, but definitely there's scope for a lot of stuff happening right now, especially with the way times are. You might think we're in a bad situation, but I think a lot of good can come out of this as well.
Absolutely. And you've explained it so well. And I think that everyone watching this, even somebody who's probably struggling in their jobs at this point, and you're not happy with what you're doing, it really doesn't matter. I'm sure there's a way out. I'm sure you need to take that risk. And like you said, you switched many places. You still did what you loved at the core. Like even with the last company that you worked with, though it was tech, it was still fitness related. Earlier you tried your hand because you are a very creative person. And the other thing that you are into is events. And I know that that's smaller part of what you do now. And of course, with COVID, you and me are both in the same situation with no events. But I think that, like you said, following your passion and following your dream is important, because you take that step and then you're there. You're winning at it right now.
So one thing I completely believe in, which may sound stupid really stupid, that people say that if you're good at something, make money out of it, right? So even while I was doing whatever I was doing for all my life, I had a good network, right? I love partying. Who doesn't like partying? And so I found a way to make money out of it, right? Obviously, it wasn't often. It was pocket money. It was a side hustle. But every time I do, like once a month, organize an event, get your friends to come. They're all looking for a place to party. They all want to party together, right? So yeah, that it was sorted in that way. But dude, like I think that events and networking the way we did, uh, just totally transferred into what I'm doing now because touch wood, getting clients per se has all been through my party circles, right?
And
At
word
the
of
end of the
mouth.
day.
And I think that the if you like, I always say this, and I say tap into your network because they're the first people that it's like your friends and family, and then your friends of friends. And
Yeah.
post that, it gets tougher, but
And
it's
and
easier
and
to spread the word.
and always like, dude, always be helpful. You never know what comes out of what. I think both of us have realized this pretty much ourselves
You and I
that
are very similar in that way, in even having
yeah,
the network.
yeah, just connect people, they'll come back to you and recommend you to other people, and I mean it's beautiful that way.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to ask you a little bit about FTS before we get on to the other questions.
Yep.
What does FTS currently do if somebody needs to sign up with you? I know that at this point it's the lockdown, but I know it's all online. And from next week, I'm on the FTS plan. But
Right.
explain to our viewers what and how can they sign up for your plan?
So let me just take you through basically how I work in the first place, right? To me, there are three basic principles of fitness, and all of them go into this theory that fitness has to be personalized, right, as much as possible, because no body type is the same, right? What works for someone won't work for someone else. So what I do is the moment I get onto a moment a client wants to sign on, I first have a 40-minute conversation with them. So in this 40 minutes, the first 20 minutes is spent explaining to them the basic fundamentals of your body, exercise, and nutrition, and how they play into each other, right? Um, so that they can start making informed decisions of what they're doing and understand why they're working out the way they're working out, how they should tackle food from outside, how they should tackle alcohol, how they should tackle sugar, why all of them can be beneficial and harmful at the same time, right? So I make them understand all that first. Then I get into more details about them, their lifestyle, their allergies, their injuries, their goals, right? Because not everyone has the same access to the same kind of food. Not everyone has access to the same kind of equipment, right? Not everyone's lifestyle allows for maybe 45 minutes to 1 hour, or not. Someone may have an injury or may have a stamina problem or whatever, right? So I get into more details on what their allowances are, and then I tailor my plan according to what they need, right? So currently, because of lockdown, obviously things are limited in terms of resource and equipment. So I do have two levels of plans right now. So I do have a base level, which is body weight work and maybe 1, 2 dumbbells or a little equipment that you have at home, but still tailored towards your intensity or how much you can take on, etc., etc. And then I have another plan for people who have full blown gyms at home, which are very few right now.
Very
But
few right now. Yeah. But
there are.
so people sign on and then it's a one-on-one with you.
So then it's a one-on-one. We basically, once the call's over, you get access to your weight program and diet through a dashboard, through an app, right? Where you mark your workouts as done, you mark your weights, etc., etc. You can chat with me via the app, though I'm always available on Insta and WhatsApp. And I monitor your progress through that app. There is constant communication, but 3.5 weeks into it, we do a detailed review where we see what worked, what didn't work, how many inches you've lost, your progress in terms of weight, etc., etc. And then I tweak it for the next month.
Okay, so Urvi is here from Beyond Books, and she says, do you also suggest meal plans?
So I don't, I mean, I do suggest nutrition. I'll take you through all the basics of nutrition and I will teach you how to eat. I will never give you a diet and say eat this per se, but I'll teach you that, like I'll give you a generic meal plan, which will include almost anything that you can eat and teach you how to proportion it, right? According to your goals. So that's it. So something that you can tackle with any kind of meal you ever see.
Okay, cool. And tell me, in terms of the lockdown, since you mentioned that, have you changed the FTS plan for the lockdown as opposed to what you were doing earlier?
So I had to obviously pivot quite a bit, right? When I started FTS, I started it in November, right? We didn't know any of the stuff's going to go down. So I started FTS with verticals of personal training, uh, retreats, experiential boot camps, which is basically doing a boot camp and then eating and hanging out together and stuff like that, right? And then I had a content vertical, etc., etc. I had a podcast coming out. I had all that stuff lined up. The goal of all of this, obviously, was to help gain credibility and grow the online vertical because that is what's the most scalable, right? So when lockdown hit, I had to totally change all plans to make sure only the online vertical exists and that grows exponentially, which is what I basically had to kind of diverge all my concentration on. And I did it through some really, really fun stuff that I ended up doing to basically make that happen.
Awesome, awesome. It's so important to kind of change according to the situation, and
Or
you've done that
you have
very
to
well.
adapt. So this is a conversation I've been having with a lot of people who've been coming to me and they're like, bro, my business is suffering. I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm not making any money and stuff like that. I'm like, bro, you need to like adapt and pivot, right? For example, if you do graphic designing, right, and you're not getting work coming your way, pivot, hold a seminar, do lives, like or do sketches, talk about take someone through the basics of Photoshop, do
Consult. You
charge
can
for that.
consult. You can teach.
There's so much stuff you can do.
There's so
Like,
much stuff you
don't
can
make
do.
excuses. If you're going to make excuses and sit on your ass and think things are going to
Agree
come your way when they
completely.
come your way,
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen, right? Just make shit happen for yourself because this thing you might think 1 2 weeks. This thing is here to stay for God knows how long, right?
God knows how long.
You need to start pivoting. You need to start adapting. You never
And I
know
think
what
the
can come
most
of it,
important
man.
thing
Like,
is really not making excuses, because I think you and I have both been so busy during this lockdown, and it's been great.
yeah. I've actually been more busy than I was before lockdown, right? And do like experiment, put yourself out there. I know a lot of people are scared of putting themselves out there, but put yourself out there. You don't know what can hit, what vertical takes off. You might totally need to pivot and enjoy stuff and do stuff you never thought you would, right? And make lots doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Couldn't agree with you more. I want to ask you something else about building your business from scratch. So you've always worked somewhere else. Even though you started your own business, you still got taken over and you worked somewhere else. What's
Yeah.
been your experience working for yourself? Because that can be hard. Starting from scratch, especially, you and I have always done it. We've always worked hard to do it. So I think that how was that experience for you? Do you
So
recommend it?
So there are different types of people, obviously, right? There are some people who enjoy just doing the corporate life, 9 to 5, dealing with that stuff, doing their overtime or whatever, and pulling out. Uh, I was doing that, but truthfully, there was no, like you said, there's no passion on it. I
Yeah.
currently love working for myself. It has worked for me because I'm just that kind of person. And I've actually been told this a couple of times before, even while I was in the corporate kind of feel that, you'd be amazingly, you'd kill entrepreneurship basically. And that's something like has totally worked for me, but obviously there has to come a level of discipline or some kind of routine that you have to make for yourself. If you're being an entrepreneur, I know you're only answerable to yourself, but if there are certain things you have to do, and this transfers into even following a fitness plan, you need to keep milestones, you need to have a progress path, and you need to make sure you're going onto that path. Or even if you diverge, there's a certain progress to going somewhere, right? You're not
Yeah.
just doing the same old thing, you're not staying at the same level. If you're content doing that, then you won't grow, obviously. But that little discipline and stuff needs to be there. It's very important. Otherwise, you know what the scene is. You'll just get stuck in one circle.
Absolutely. Okay, so tell me, since you're working from home, I know yours is a kind of a business, both actually are very like out and about and on the move, and especially working out, you want your own space, you want a gym, you want outdoor. But any
Yeah.
tips to work from home? Anything that you've done differently that maybe people can, follow?
So I've actually, like I said, I've anyways loved working from home, and in terms of basically I do my calls and then I sit and program, and it's work for that client, which has worked beautifully for me because I'm cutting down. First, I used to do my meetings one on one, so I would go meet the client for the first time, and now it's just on on call, right? So, like I said, I've kind of made a schedule. I have a call, I have 4 calls a day, right? Spaced 3 hours between. So I have a 12 o'clock call, I have a 3 o'clock call, I have a 5 o'clock call, and I have a night call for the US and Canadian clients,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And then I do the call, and in between the call, I'll program that person's workout. So then obviously it's fresh and move. So that's the kind of routine I've put for myself. Any client that calls or any client that wants to onboard, they're slotted in, right? So for example, when we have our call on Friday, I gave you a slot time and I was like, okay, this is your slot, right?
Yeah.
So that's the kind of structure that, okay, gets me through the day. I know I'm onboarding 4 clients and I'm doing 1 review, right? For whoever's turning over, right? Or whatever be the case. So I'm dealing with 4 to 5 people and I can give each of them 2 to 3 hours through my slots. So then that kind of gets sorted. Anything extra or anything that comes up, like suppose I have a couple of different verticals that I'm lining up that I have different meetings. So then that's again put into a slot, right? And
Okay.
then that's my client for the day. So I'm kind of getting that to make sure there's balance. Obviously, it's easier from home because then even if you slack off for an hour, you can make it up. Since I'm working for myself, a lot of different things is obviously where an I'm. It's an advantage and a disadvantage right now that I'm not building a team, right? Uh, I don't think it's the time yet because you don't know where things are going to fall post-COVID,
Yeah.
right? I'm sure I'll lose at least 30% of my clients because they'll get back to work or whatever, right? Stuff like that. So it doesn't make sense for me to hire one more person to handle. So since I'm handling everything by myself right now, it's easier for me to be more flexible. But yeah, just get into some kind of routine if you're working for yourself. If you're working for
Most
someone else,
important. Yeah.
I'm sure you have deadlines if you're working for someone else anyway. So then, no choice.
Yeah. So the other thing I want to ask you is with FTS or anything that you've started, is there a particular marketing strategy that you follow, which you can share with us? Is it that you always go towards traditional advertising first, word of mouth first, or online and influencers first? What's your take on all this?
Uh, First things first, whether it's been a campaign or it's been my own stuff, right? Study your market, right? There's enough of information out there. Deep dive into who your market is. First of all, you'll know your price point. Figuring with that price point, study your market, see what demographics fit into that market sphere, what they're interested in, and then adapt. So when it comes to what I was doing, right? When lockdown hit, I was like, okay, now I was at about 11,000 followers then on Instagram, right? And I was like, okay, I need to grow my awareness. I need to create content to get in more people who will identify with my type of thinking, right? And obviously can pay that kind of money, etc., etc. So I identify those people and create content that will draw those in. So which is why I know I got a lot of judgment for making those funny videos, right? But that was my plan. I planned that. I was like, I have free time. I'm going to shoot these videos. I'm going to draw in that variety of people. Each of those videos got over 100, shares, bro. So I jumped from about 11,000 to about 18, 19,000 just because of making that kind of videos. And those came through those, my conversions happened, right?
Your
Because they came
neighbors
in.
need to get a cut of this amount.
Nope. Most of them are on the plan anyway, so they're getting those benefits. But yeah, basically got in the people, and obviously they'll come onto your profile, they'll see the other shit you talk about, they inquire about stuff, and basically leverage that into conversions. And once I got packed enough, I stopped that content because then it wasn't worth my time, right? Other stuff, dude, Instagram targeting, Facebook targeting. Facebook right now, I don't really believe in their putting too much money in, but Instagram targeting has helped me a lot. Each time I put in money, like say I take a bunch of money, something as stupid as 2,000 rupees, right? I've taken 2,000 rupees and I'm like 2,000 rupees every month is going to go into boosting a post. Okay. And then I keep changing. So when I started, I boosted a post only in South Bombay and chose interests of people who would spend how much in brands, what they would then spend on me, right? So that's my target audience. So I boosted a post there, captured South Bombay market, whoever I needed to, blah, blah, blah. Next time I boosted, I chose a location of Bandra, right? Hit that. Next time Canada, US, stuff like that. Chose a little money. So for each 2,000 rupees I put in, I got at least 4 to 5 clients out of that, which was then obviously about between 5 to 10x the ROI, right? So stuff like that, man. Study your market, understand what needs to be done, see what the interests are, and just hammer at it. Of course, you will make mistakes, you will lose some stuff, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, investment is needed. You're not going to like grow if you don't invest back in.
Yeah, absolutely agree. The other thing I want to ask you, last 2 questions before I leave you, is what's next with FTS once the lockdown ends? Do you have any plans, anything that you've kept in mind that I'm definitely going to do this when things are back to normal?
I have a lot of collaborations that are joint. I'm doing something in the food vertical. I'm doing something in the content vertical. I'm doing something in more of a hospitality vertical. All these are set up. There are stuff that I'm already doing, which are with protein brands and stuff like that. But I have a lot of stuff that's set up, which hopefully will blow up, right? I don't want to give away too much right now, but a lot of interesting stuff coming up. A lot of education to be given, and a lot of more conversions to happen, hopefully.
So it's looking promising for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it looks very interesting. There's a massive scope right now, as you can see with what's happening outside as well, right? With cult and everything else that's come in, and how much people are getting into fitness and how important immunity and health is becoming right now just because of what's going on.
Yeah.
So a lot of stuff to be done, a lot of people to be helped. It's going to be interesting.
Okay. And the last thing is, since we are talking about health and fitness and we didn't bring in the food aspect much, is there one thing that you do every day that you stick by and something that has really helped you that you can share with us? Like some people drink a shot of lime juice every morning, or even healthy water now in this for human immunity. But is there anything that you do, maybe apart from lifting those heavy weights?
So when it comes to there are there's a lot of, I won't say bad information, but misinformation that's out there when it comes to having this stuff in the morning or devoiding yourself of certain kind of foods, not eating sugar, not eating carbs, following intermittent fasting and all. There are reasons to all of these things, and I actually don't believe in any of them. I'm not saying they don't work. I'm definitely not saying that. They do work, but they're very short-term solutions, right? I believe in living a very kind of something that will work for the rest of your life. You need to approach nutrition in a way that is something you can do day in and day out. The moment it needs to be all inclusive. The moment you put exclusions into it and add conditions, right? It's not something you're going to be able to stick to, and it's not going to be something you enjoy. If you don't enjoy the process of getting healthier, getting fit, getting ripped, right? Seeing those aesthetic changes, you're not going to stick to it. You'll do it for a couple of months. You'll be like, hey, I got what I want to, and you're going to jump off. So stuff I believe in, stuff I completely follow myself. I mean, if you follow me, you will know that I eat almost everything, right? I'm having my chocolates, I'm having my sugar, I'm having my alcohol, right? There's a way to moderate all of that. There's a way to manipulate all of that. At the end of the day, for example, your body breaks down all foods into the same components and absorbs them through digestive pathways, right? It's just the quantity you give that in and stuff like that matters. So if you're eating sugar or if you're eating oats, for example, right? At the end of the day, both are stored as glucose in your body. It's just the pathway to get to glucose, for example, is longer with oats, and you get nutrients as well with oats. Yeah. But there are times where you can use sugar to your advantage. For example, if you need to do a hard workout, suppose I'm going for a workout and I don't have time to eat a heavy meal, I have only 20 minutes, right? You need something that's fast absorbing that will get stored as glucose that you can use as energy. Will I sit and eat an oats thing, or will I eat a piece of chocolate? I eat a piece of chocolate, right? Because I'm not looking for nutrients at that point. I'm looking for energy, right? Energy. And even when it comes to other stuff, as long as you're getting nutrients that you need, you can experiment and eat what you want, right? Like a piece of ice cream, a scoop of ice cream is not going to kill you. 200 calories is not going to kill you, right? It's going to be transported to sugar, which you can make up by having half a roti less in the next meal, but it may give you that mental satisfaction that you'll stick to a cleaner diet for the next 4 or 5 days.
Absolutely.
Right? Stuff like that. So be very wholesome in what you're eating. If you get onto my plan, when I talk to you, I'll explain to you how each meal needs proteins, fats, carbs, fiber, and I'll teach you how to handle that as well, right? When you're ordering from out, whether it's Thai, Italian, Chinese, whatever be the case, right? How to manipulate all that and stuff like that, because I've gone through it myself. So I don't have any rules that I do every day. There's nothing that I follow every day
Apart
except
from working.
except for working on 5 days a week. Uh, that's about it.
Okay.
Just be
Amazing
just be
talking to you.
mindful of it. Okay, now before we go, time for you to answer some questions.
I have one question. Wait, I'm not done. I have one question. You started taking weekends off. How does that feel?
Dude, like, man, it's changed my life. For the first 3 months of lockdown, I've worked basically every day.
Yeah.
And because a lot of people want to start their plans on a Monday, I end up having to work Saturday, Sunday, right? For the last 3 weekends, I've been like, fuck, let's do this shit.
No.
Sorry, it's gonna
Yeah.
be.
No,
And
that's fine.
I'm like, I'm not taking any clients on Saturday, Sunday. I've stopped even replying to messages on that Saturday, Sunday asking me about, stuff like that. I'm
I did
like,
it for the first
and
time this weekend since the lockdown, and it was
yeah,
amazing.
we had that talk 2 weeks back, and I was like, bro, you have to try this.
I did it.
Like,
I did it, and it was
my
amazing.
God. It was amazing. Like, I completely enjoyed my weekend. I sat, I drank, I was hungover, didn't have to answer any calls, didn't have to go on anything, and then went back to work on Monday and was completely fine. It's very tough to draw the line when you're an entrepreneur between work and chilling and like play, for the better word. And unfortunately, I know this is shit to say, but we Indians don't respect boundaries, right? So there will be calls that will come to you at any time and messages that will come to you at any time. You don't reply in a banana, and they'll be like, why aren't you replying? I'm like, but bro, it's like work time is over, man.
Most
Like, I have to push myself,
frustrating
right?
thing ever. I'm doing an IGTV about this next week because I realized this Sunday I was traveling for like 2 days, traveling as in I had just gone driving before anyone thinks I was out on a holiday. And I was driving back, and I get a call from a client at 3:30 p.m. on a Sunday. And I'm like, normally I would have picked up and spoken to you, but no.
Yeah. No, there's just no kind of boundaries, no kind of this, anything. So I'm trying to like instill that on myself and be a little firm about that. Of course, I am still growing. It's hardly been 7, 8 months, so I have to keep the clients as happy as possible. But yeah, trying to draw some boundaries there.
So what questions do you have for me?
So I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this, but how did networking now start? What was the thought process? How has it evolved into what it is now? How are you maybe connecting, I don't know how many people every day and not taking a cut out of it and stuff like that?
You know how it started. I love doing this. You know best out of everyone that this is something I'm very, very passionate about. And I just love connecting people. So I think that now I'm finally, like you, I'm finally finding my feet to where I can actually make money out of this, because people are benefiting. And I think that's the best part, is that when I started, it was literally just a Facebook group. Today, we've made it a subscription community, and we actually have people gaining out of it, which makes me really happy. And, the best is that people want to help others. And earlier, you never thought that was the case. Like you said,
Exactly.
there are very few of us out there who want to recommend, want to help, want to connect. And actually, I'm finding many more of us out there. So that's a good thing.
That's great. And what's next for NN?
Lots. Actually, this lockdown has given me a lot. So I'm very grateful for that, because I think I've grown so much in this 2 months. 3 months being home, but maybe lots more virtual stuff as opposed to offline. I used to be a big thinker of offline. Maybe I'm moving now.
Yeah, man. I mean, so throughout my whole advertising career or marketing career, obviously I had to sit and force, because the heads of all your Nestle, Pepsi, etc., 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 were all old school. They always believed in TV and print and all. So half my pitches used to be online.
Yeah.
And now you don't have a choice. I mean, if you're not online, you're done.
Yeah, really. The other day, I actually met somebody who I had a product from somebody, and I said, "Oh, you know, what's your Instagram handle?" She's like, "I don't have one." I was like, "How? Why are you
Yeah.
wasting money on a
Yeah,
website? You're so, you know, you're so small. Start with Instagram. That can be your catalog. That can be your website." So
exactly.
online is the way is the way to go. Ritika says, "Sending both of you my CV. Please hire me. Please call FTS. They need people. You can do the Bangalore chapter."
Oh yeah. Listen, she can be my first. Actually, I have some Bangalore clients, but you can be the ambassador.
She can be the ambassador. But Pati, do you have any more questions for me?
No, not yet. I will interrupt your your next slides.
But thank you. It was so lovely chatting with you. I felt like I was just having a
Anytime.
regular chat in my
Yeah,
living
this
room.
just seems like our normal conversations,
Yeah,
right?
and I'm
Except
excited
when
for
we're
next week.
involved. Yep, be ready for it. Go
Excited.
enjoy your weekend because it's going to be a little tough.
Okay, I will. I will. Thank you, Patti. This was great chatting with
All
you
right, man.
and listening to, you know, about your journey, you starting FTS, and all the best, because I think you're just on an upway road now with FTS. So kudos to you and good luck.
Thank you. See
See you
you.
soon. Bye.